Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new Halvanus video in which we're going to be talking about today. Did Luke Skywalker fail um, in bringing back balance to the Force and to the universe? And the biggest kind of thing we have to talk about there for that is whether or not we feel that yes, he did a good job and did all he could when he was training these new hopeful Jedi, or did he screw up royally and end up dooming the rest of the galaxy? The big, um, the big, overarching question here is did Luke screw up? And in my opinion, yes, Luke screwed up. He had to have, because you got to take it from a perspective of the fact that he would have been the Jedi Grandmaster, and the Jedi Grandmaster should, by rights, be someone who has studied for years upon years to be a Jedi Master. Unfortunately, Luke, he kind of didn't. He was kind of just, look, I defeated Vader, through winning him back, through redeeming Anakin Skywalker. And he goes, I defeated the Emperor by redeeming Anakin Skywalker, and Anakin Skywalker defeated the Emperor. So therefore, I am the powerful Jedi. At that point, he's the only Jedi left in the universe. Which, in turn, leaves us with a predicament in the fact that he's basically going to be the only one that can teach anybody about the Force. Like, anyone at all. There's nobody else in the universe that can do it. He's got the most experience with it, but he's not a master. He's not considered to be a Jedi Master. Like, what did he do after Return of the Jedi? Basically nothing. You gotta understand that the EU is no longer canon. So, and it never was canon, but, it's the EU is not a direct continuation of George Lucas's work. Therefore, anything now, you've got to take anything from the EU or the Legends canon. You've got to say to yourself, look, there's no way that this is that is possible. You can say he did all this stuff because it's no longer canon in that line of the story. If it was EU canon, there was a lot of proof in there that Luke had become a Grandmaster. He was continuing his training. He read from the book that Obi-Wan left him. He knew how to contact Obi-Wan through the Force Ghost. He could talk to Master Yoda and Anakin and Obi-Wan through the use of the Force Ghost. Whole technique thing where he can contact them at will. Like, he, in the EU, was a better character. Unfortunately now, you can't say that he's the same character. He's not the same character. Because in this canon, in the only canon that matters, according to Disney, since they own the rights, in the only canon, he basically defeated the Emperor, redeemed Anakin Skywalker, and then hastily tried to rebuild the Jedi Order. Now, is it indicative of the fact that he rushed? He wanted to get the Jedi Order up and running. At this point, he had to have been thinking, look, I only have so many years I can do this. If I don't continue pushing and trying to get these students ready, I'm going to be in a bunch of hot water when it comes to fulfilling the prophecy and fixing my father's mistakes. It's like he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders at that point. And I'm thinking maybe he rushed. He did not teach them properly. Because look at Luke. He would have gotten most of his self training done in the EU, or the expanded universe, um, or Legends, is whatever you want to call it. But what he would have gotten for experience from that would have been actual fights against remnants of the Empire, remnants of the Dark Sith that were in the area, new Sith Masters that had come out. Admiral Thrawn, would have pushed him through a bunch of learning inadvertently. Every other person he would have defeated that wasn't the Emperor would have, furthered his self training, and he could have potentially, you know, um, been the Grandmaster that they needed him to be. Unfortunately, in this version of the story, Luke received no extra training, no self-training from the fact that he had to rise up against these other uprisings. There was one uprising, and he ended up losing his star pupil and most of the people that were in the fucking area. There's no way to tell you that he was a good trainer. He wasn't. He had to have not been a good trainer. Because Kylo Ren fell, or Ben fell. Ben Solo has fallen. He is no longer a good Jedi. He is no longer a Jedi. He just simply told them, look, I'm evil. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm evil. And, that kind of sucks from the point of view that Luke tried his best, and his best wasn't good enough. Unfortunately. So with that being said, was he a good teacher? He could have been a good teacher, but a good teacher would not lose a student that quick. So I would have to say, and as much as it hurts me to say it, because Luke is a good guy. Luke is the guy who's redeemed Darth Vader. He made sure that there was balance brought to the Force for that moment. Even though there wasn't balance because there was no Sith, there was only one Jedi. You can't say that it's balanced when the light and the dark one outweighs each other. And unfortunately, the light had outweighed the dark at that point. Unless you subscribe to the theory that Snoke is Darth Plagueis, in which Darth Plagueis was alive through Palpatine's ascension, if you believe that he ended up cheating death when Palpatine just tried to kill him in his sleep. If you believe that, yes, then maybe there was balance at that point, because there was one Sith and one Jedi. But if we're going through, again, what we were talking about there, it was the light side overwhelmed the dark side. And it was just a thing that, it steps in the face of what they were trying to do, bring balance. So was he a good teacher? No, because Ben Solo went to the dark side. B, all the students that was entrusted to him ended up slaughtered. He could not defend the students. And he betrayed Han and Leia's trust by, Han and Leia thought, if anyone's going to teach him to be a Jedi and help him control his Force powers, it's got to be Luke, because Luke is the only person that, who could do it. And we end up seeing that Luke, unfortunately, fails and ends up creating one of the more powerful Sith in the universe. But he's not a Sith, so they're very adamant in the fact that Kylo Ren is not a Sith. He is just for all intents and purposes, a Jedi who lost his way. He is a Dark Jedi. He's not a Sith. He's not being trained as a Sith. He was never trained as a Sith. He was trained as a Jedi. He's just a fallen Jedi. So, in all that being said, I don't think Luke was a good teacher. I don't think he was a good Grandmaster to even have been in that. And I think what me and Tor talked about the other day is that maybe his trying to rush, right? Like, he tried to rush. So when he tried to rush, he skipped over lessons that would have taught them self-control, would have taught them inner peace. Because he didn't have that training. He literally didn't. He literally had 10 minutes of training with Obi-Wan, and he sat on a swamp in Dagobah with Yoda, trying to levitate things with his mind. Like, yes, that's training, but it's not. It's physical. It's augmentation training, is what it was. It was teaching him how to use the Force, giving him a fundamental, giving me a fundamental understanding of the Force, so he could tap into his powers at will and not have to worry or rely on Ben, because Ben's dead at that point. Like, or Obi-Wan rather, because I know you're gonna get confused. It's like, well, Ben's this. Well, Ben Solo is named after Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi's, So, there's that. But, you can't just go off of a lineage like the Skywalkers and expect to be a good teacher, because every Skywalker to this point has ended up betraying their friends and turning to the dark side. In the EU, even Luke was not escaped from that, because in the EU, Luke became a Dark Jedi again. Like, he joined Emperor Palpatine's reincarnation. So, can you much blame Kylo for switching sides really quickly like that? Like, I can't. I think that it's the way he was written. He is the perfect, Dark Jedi for the movie, and he'll end up being, either redeemed or destroyed. And I'm hoping that it's the destroyed part, because, again, like I said in my other video, I feel like if he was redeemed, it would be a cop-out, and they'd just be full-on copying what happened in the original trilogy. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on that subject. Puts to rest that Luke is a bad trainer. And, he's betrayed a lot of people when it comes to trying to uphold his value of justice and stuff. But, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Next video, we'll be talking probably about Han Solo's death and how I feel that it was handled, or whether or not it was handled well. And above all else, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe. And again, put in the tag of these. These are spoilers, so if you have not watched The Force Awakens, you may not know what we're talking about, and you may have actually been spoiled without intentionally wanting to be spoiled. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.